Hello everyone and welcome to The Joy of Editing with Dave Kelly. I recently launched the series called TK7 Go Panel Luminosity Masks Unmasked. This is another series I'm launching called TK7 Combo and TK7 CX Panels, Photoshop Swiss Army Knife. Now these two series are going to kind of run alongside each other, but they're all about the TK7 panels, actions, and luminosity masks, and I think they're really going to help you. My goal with these two series are to keep these videos short and sweet and let them be a resource for you to come back. And if you forget something about the TK7 panels and actions and masks, you'll be able to come here and at a glance find that information and get you back up on your feet and running again. The title of my first episode is Frequency Separation. Now, frequency separation is a powerful tool, and a lot of people get confused with it and think it can be very hard to use. It's actually very simple. Now, a lot of people use frequency separation for portraiture, and it's very powerful there, but it can also be used in everyday photography. And I learned this from Sean Bagshaw, one of Tony's associates, and I want to show it to you today on a common flower image. So let's get started. This is the image that we'll be working on. Now, just to give you a little background, this image started out in Lightroom, some basic adjustments. I brought it into Photoshop, ran Topaz Sharpen AI on it, got rid of the noise, and sharpened it up a bit. And then I ran it into Topaz Mask AI. That's this next layer here. I thought the background was a little busy, so let me show you what I did. I used Mask AI to blur some of the background. I kept some of the leaves in the front, but I blurred a lot of the background, which I want to simplify this image to really help bring the viewer into the flower that I really want to be standing out in this image. And then I used frequency separation to change it from this image to this image. And you'll notice I got rid of a lot of the busy background. There was some areas in here that were over light here, and I wanted to add some color to them, and I used frequency separation to do that very simply, and you'll see that coming up here shortly. But here's the before frequency separation, and here is the after frequency separation. By the way, if you want to learn how I do the blurry backgrounds using Topaz Mask AI, I will link a Mask AI video at the end of this tutorial, so you could maybe check that out. Sorry for that long introduction, but I wanted to set up this series, and I think it'll be helpful in the long run. Okay, so let's go ahead and work with frequency separation. So what I need to do is get rid of this frequency separation layer here. What I'm going to do is just duplicate this image. I'm going to use this Tony Kuyper Action DUP image. I'm going to click this, and it makes a duplicate copy of my image. And you'll notice up here it says YouTube tutorial copy. So there's a copy of that. And what I want to do here is get rid of this frequency separation layer here and start from scratch. So let me just click on this group here and click the little trash can icon. And I want to delete the group and contents. So I'll click here and that group and contents will go away. In case you're wondering why some of my buttons have more colors than others, I've created them that way so I could point out buttons that I use a lot, and you can customize yours yourself. All you have to do is go to any button and right click it, and when you do, it changes to a more saturated color, and that'll make it easier to find the next time you need to use it. I'm using the TK7 CX panel, but you can also use the TK7 combo panel. They're basically the same, just laid out differently. So whichever one you prefer, that's the one you want to use. I'll be using the CX panel, so I'm going to close this panel out here. Now we're going to find the frequency separation action under this icon right here called TK with a little play sign. Click this and your actions live in here. Now you'll notice I have some of these actions color coded too. You can take any action you want, and right now you see here's my frequency separation action. If I right click it, I get a bunch of colors here. So I could say, you know, I want that to be this magenta color. And now frequency separation will be magenta, or I can click it and change it. What did I have it? Did I have it as green? I believe I had it. But you can go to any one of these actions. And if it's an action you use a lot, it's a good idea to, you know, give it a color. It'll help you to find it quicker. And now all we need to do is click frequency separation. And when we do, we're going to be greeted with this Gaussian blur dialog here. Now, I find that this radius of 10 generally works, but if it's not working quite right for you, if things don't seem right, you could play around with this number, but start out with 10 pixels, and if that doesn't work for you, you can experiment with that. Now, you'll notice my image is blurry. As soon as I click OK, my image comes back, and now I have a group here called frequency separation, and inside I have two layers, one called texture and the other called color blur. Now, how did Tony make these two layers? I don't know, but Tony's the brain trust behind this whole thing, and I leave that all up to him. And we as photographers and creators, we can just create using what Tony has done for us. Now, if you want to figure out how these things were all done, there are videos on YouTube that you can find all this information out. Basically, what frequency separation is doing, it's breaking down the color of the image on one layer and the textures of the image on another layer, which makes for some really powerful things that we can do, and I'll show you. Now, when you want to color on your image, you can color right on this layer, color blur, but I don't like to do that. What I like to do is click on the color blur layer and click this little icon here to add a blank pixel layer. Paint on this layer. Don't paint on the color blur layer. That is a big tip for you. And whenever you need to alter or change the texture, now you do have to use this texture layer. Now pay close attention, because now you're going to find out how beautiful frequency separation can be for you. And again, it's separating textures from color. All right. So you see this shadow on this leaf right here. I want to eliminate it. Okay. Now I'm on my color layer right here. So I'm going to get a brush tool here, and I'm going to sample this color right here. And I'm going to start and painting over it. Now I have an opacity of 30%. So every time I paint, I'm going to paint 30% over it. But notice something that's happening here. When I paint over this, the texture remains, and that's the beauty of frequency separation. Your textures remain while you can go ahead and change the color of things. Isn't that cool? And I'm just painting 30% each time I go along here. But just like that, I've changed that color right there. Now I'm going to sample this color and paint over here and paint on here just a little bit like that. And just like that, I've got rid of that shadow here. Now, if I can take this color right here and just darken this area down here, but my texture remains, but I've eliminated my shadow. And I want to darken this entire leaf down here. So I'm going to find a color here, somewhere around in here, and I'm just going to paint on my entire leaf here and just darken it down a bit with that particular color. I'm going to make my brush bigger, and I can literally just paint. I'm painting 30% of that paint over the entire leaf here, but notice that texture stays, and that's the beauty here. I'm going to go over this area again right here and then over here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but take your time and alter this the way you want it to go. I'm going to darken this area down even a little bit too. Now, let's take a look at it, at the before and after here. I'm just going to click on the group here. So here's the before and here's the after. So see how quickly I fixed that? Now I overshot over on this area a little bit. So here's what I'm going to do to clean that up. Now I can get an eraser tool, E for eraser, and simply, where's my hardness at? I want my hardness to be soft. I'm going to take my softness down, and I'm just going to erase that right off of there, just like so. Okay, so again, here's my before, and here's my after. So that quick, I was able to get rid of the shadow on the leaf and also darken my leaf down. Now, like I said, the power of frequency separation is being able to paint color on your image and keep your texture there, okay? And if you needed to change a texture, you can come to the texture layer and you can clone it, use a healing brush on it, whatever you want. And next up, let me say I want to darken this area right down here. So let me just, again, be on my paint layer and make sure I have my brush up. I'm going to sample this darker color here. And at 30%, I'm just going to darken this whole area here down. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want my viewer's attention to be drawn to the flower, not down here. So let me make my image full size so you can see it here. Okay, now let's take a look at the before and after. Here's the before and here's the after. See how your eye wants to go to the leaves at the bottom, but through frequency separation, I can make you look at the flower itself. Now, the next thing I want to do is these lighter areas in the flower, they almost look white. I just want to add a tint of pink in here, okay, or this magenta pinkish color. Let me go ahead and zoom in. Hey, let's use a Tony Kuyper action. See this little plus right here? If I keep clicking plus, I can keep zooming in, okay? And now let me come to this area here. Now you can see here, there's still texture in these light areas here, but to shade these pink, all I have to do is find a pink color. And let me find a color, maybe something like right here. And watch, I'm going to be sloppy here, and I'm at 30%, which is probably too much. But let me back that off. I'm just going to leave that there. I'm going to take it down to say like 20% and just paint 20% right here. And all the areas that I want to add a little bit of color to, see, I can paint over them, but the texture remains. Now, if I was just painting on a blank paint layer, I'd be losing all that detail in there. But I'm going to change this down to a 1. I'm typing 1. And when I say change it to 1, that's a shortcut to change the opacity to 10%. Sorry about that. I get a little excited here. So I'm just going to pay 10% on that. And you can go around here and continue painting. I'm not going to waste the time and do it because I have that other image already completed. And the last thing I want to do is work on the background and show you how I can just paint. Like, see this brown spot here? I don't like it. What I can do is make sure I'm on that paint layer and make my brush larger. And I'm going to sample this color around it. And I'm just going to paint that spot right off like so. Okay, and if I don't like this pink right here because it's bothering me, I could sample color around it and I can just start to paint that off. Now I'm just painting at 30% at a time and just painting and painting and painting till it goes away. And the other technique I'll do a lot of times is cut my flow down. I might cut my flow down to 5% so I can really take my time and just blend it in just nicely. And what I like to do is and to change that flow, if you hold your shift key down, hold your 0 key and click like 5. I like to paint with 5%. Shift 0, 5 will change your flow to 5%. And then I'll put my opacity up to maybe 50%. So I'll type the 5 key. And what I'll do is I'll blend this color around this pink area up here because I don't like it. So what I'll do is hold the option key, find this color right here. And then I will just paint. And that flow helps me to maintain that. And I might sample some other colors around here. And what I might do is change this 50 up to 100%. I'll just type 0 here, and that changes to 100%. And my flow is causing me to keep painting to blend that in. Now I'm going to sample this color around here and fill that in. So you see that? If I don't want this yellow in here, I can grab a color around it, paint that yellow out. And this is very important when you're crafting images. You don't want people to see things you don't want them to see. And we as artists and creators, we can fix things. And we can play the magician here and make our images look just like we want them. And if I don't like this yellow down here, I would paint that out. But you see how I did it. And I already have this image right here, which is complete. And that's what I've done. I just used that technique to get rid of all that background that I didn't like. And so I started out looking like this. And again, I end up looking like this, all through the power of frequency separation. There it is, everyone, frequency separation. Whenever you need to change colors of things on your image and you need them to be spot on but maintain the texture of the image, frequency separation is what you need to use. Now, you can use luminosity masks and you can add saturation, you can darken, you can lighten, but whenever you need really accurate color, frequency separation is what you need. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. If you did, please give it a like, share it with your friends. If you're not yet a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe, click that bell notification icon. Then every time I upload a new tutorial, you'll be notified about it. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today on The Joy of Editing with Dave Kelly, and I'll see you all right here next time. But until then, happy editing.